Hey guys, Eugene with with RSP here. So last video I made, everyone was complaining that there's no way free to play or low mid coiners can get nearly as high as what I said. And I just wanted to kind of show exactly how to do it. I I went through and I got every single buff in the game. I mean, it took me a while for to put this together. But I try to get as realistic as possible. But these are also, theoretical maximums, and there's a lot of other buffs that may not even be in here. So this may not even be a maximum for a mid coiner, right? So 2278% buffs. How do we get there, right? Well, we have the Academy. You get 230% from there, and then Military Academy. This is Military Academy 5. In order to max out Military Academy 5, you need something like 70 billion gold or something. But in reality, you don't need to max it out. You only really need to get about halfway through. You just need to focus on a certain uh, important things, especially if you're only focusing ranged attack or, just attack in general. You should be getting about 1 billion gold per week from Vikings. With double drops, you could even be getting, a little bit more than that. So in reality, the amount of gold and research stones, it'll take you about a year, guys. If you're free to play, if you're low mid coiner, coin responsibly. Don't just blow it all in one event. Say, what are my goals? And that's what this is supposed to be. Is let's go through these and look at them as goals. Hey, this is the maximum. Hey, what does it take to get an Ashoka? Well, when the $1 events drop, you can either get them randomly by spending the Delphic Oracle event, or it could take 100, 200, maybe even $300 in order to unlock them through that event. That to me is a mid coiner. If you're only spending $200 or $300 at an event, we're talking cake level 4, so you can get Civ gear. That's important. Also, I'm assuming that you actually have a good team, but a lot of these buffs, you take them away, and you still have a significant amount. Same thing with Japan subs is, you got to have a good team. You got to work with your server. You got to make sure that your server is working together to get the Japan subs into the right hands. And you got to make sure you have historic level coiners on your server in order for them to pass these down to you. These are obviously some good assumptions. General stats, skills, and specialties. That's assuming that you have your Douglas and what's that new chick? Eleanor as assistant. Obviously, the specialties are maxed out in this scenario. If you're a mid-tier coiner, you really should be focusing your specialties on 2, maybe 4 or 5 generals maximum. Like, you just really can't just be spending on everything. So how do I get a fully ascended general? Is I save up every single one of my general tokens. If you're using double downs and you're buying those event packs, and you're buying, say, 4 of those packs a month or 8 packs a month, that's 16 general tokens. It takes anywhere between 40 and 80 general tokens in order to be able to get 16 copies of a general. And so you got to save them up. You can't just use your general tokens right when you get them. You got to save them up. Wait for the perfect general to drop, like this Douglas guy. Like, he dropped, man, that was the quickest spend of 40 general tokens that I had saved up. And so you can get all 16 copies, and then you work slowly towards getting the Blood of Ares required to upgrade him. Obviously, when you're doing that, you're neglecting your defense, you're neglecting your debuffs. So I'm not going to say everyone should be doing that. I'm just showing how a free-to-play low coiner or mid coiners are able to get these. And then general gear. You don't need Civ gear, guys. This is 2,300% without Civ gear. You basically have a plant ring, plant leg, Akka boots, Akka armor, Ares helmet, Ares bow. Plant ring, plant leg, those are 2 Civ gears that you can get with free-to-play playing. If you're low coining, mid coining, even easier, right? It takes less than a month to get both of those things. If you are free to play, you got to focus your Civ gear on the siege range rings. First, get your choreo for your defense, and then you need to get your either an abyss or the Heian ring for the siege range. You cannot replace your siege range with anything else, guys. Those are the two most important. So whilst this is, again, theoretical maximum, this is assuming you're a mid coiner and you have a little bit of extra civ gear that you can be buying. Just with this, you're at 142%. Gear refines, same thing. I'm assuming with a mid coiner, you're saving up those refine stones. You're really only refining the gear that is really important. Don't worry too much about HP and defense on your ranged attacks. You really want to, basically refine those gears a little bit, lock them in at even purples for HP and defense. Just get a little bit of stuff in them. But for attack, that's where you just kind of got to be patient. You got to be looking for those 25%. Sometimes even, if you have enough refine stones, go for the gold. Again, this is theoretical maximum. Same thing with the dragon stats. Celtic level 15. You got to do those. You got to get those Vikings done, guys. Like hundreds of Vikings, thousands of Vikings every single week. Those materials add up. You also got to use a little bit of gemstones. Your little gems, you got to use them to refresh your dragon. When the dragon event is around, if you refresh your dragons, you're able to get them up faster, because then you can actually use all of that experience that you use materials on to buy those dragon coins. Excepting in that location, almost never should you be buying dragon coins. They're a really bad deal. Evony values them about 4 to 5 times more than they're actually worth in terms of the XP they give you. So just keep that in mind when you're getting your dragon up. It really doesn't give you that much in terms of dragon stats, and dragon skill at level 10 is 25%. At level 15 is 50%. So it's, again, not a huge thing. Your dragon talents on your Celtic is great. Now this is assuming that, again, that you're basically free to play, and you don't have a team around you. If you have a team around you, this should be Nidog. If you're at Nidog, dragon skill should be 50%. Dragon talent should be 45, I think, 40% thereabouts. And then you have your dragon refines at 100%. So you basically gain about 60% thereabouts, getting your Nidog and putting them on ranged attack. And Nidog is a free-to-play attainable dragon. You just have to have a good team, and you have to be a good PvP player, right? More on that in videos to come. But this is 100% realistic and attainable. You don't have to spend that much money to get your Nidog. You might need to buy some battlefield packs with double downs. You have to make sure you have a good keep. You got to make sure that your team works with you. They have to pre-rain you so that you're getting points in, on your defenses. You can get your Nidog. It just takes a little bit of coordination. Let's see. Moving on. Blazons again. You just gotta focus the good ones. These are level 15 Blazons. Again, level 10s. Will work just fine as well. The castle, I'm assuming that you have some sort of all-stars castle or cake castle. Even if you can only full cake once a year, it's probably good to wait for a castle that you like. Other than that, you can always just remove this. 15% really isn't going to kill you. Art treasure, you have this is level 2 art treasure, guys. This is 100% realistic, 100% attainable for a low to mid coiner, even free to play. Guys, this is a marathon, 1 to 2 years. Let's, slowly but surely attack these things. Civ treasure, that's a level 3 civ treasure, attainable. Monarch gear, that's a dagger level 8, which is what, 10, 12, of those, of the $100 packs with double downs. Or you go to staff 10, that's what, a couple million gems. You can get about 150 to 200,000 gems a week as a free to play. You just have to have a good alliance. You just have to actually play the game. You have to grind those pyramids. You have to grind those Arctic barbarians. You got to save your gems for refining. Save the gems for really important things. Don't spend your gems on resources. Don't spend your gems on speed ups. Don't spend your gems on anything other than the things that you cannot replace without them, i.e. refines, and ideally cultivates as well. Shrine, this is a K39 shrine. You got to have those farms. You got to be feeding your keep. You got to be updating, and then Alliance, Science, and Skill. That's probably one of the cheapest places to get buffs that a lot of people overlook. It doesn't cost that much gem-wise to just push through it, especially if you have a bunch of mid-coiners in your alliance, maybe even some big coiners. To get to the highest level of skills is 12 million, 15 million gems at the most. And the grand scheme of things, it doesn't cost that much to get 15 million gems. And then we have Archer, Camp Officer, and Gear, same thing. Sulla, you could get him from those $100 packs for the Blood of Ares wheel. That is possible. A couple $100 you can get him. You also get some free, some free options. They'll probably show up in the Delta Oracle event sometime. You really should be getting him if you really want that 25%. If you go with the other general, it's 5%, and then you get another 10% from his gear. So you're really only losing 10% by not having Soul, and you're using the other one. Triumph Arch, same thing. If you're good at the game, if you actually spend on the battlefield packs with double downs, you have enough heals, if you have a proper keep build, you can get into the All-Stars semis, let alone the All-Stars finals. And so you can basically push your Triumph Arch to level 5. And so you get that extra 30% in Battlefield. In fact, and then you have your 5-minute Battlefield buff. Again, this can be dropped to 50% if you're going to be normal. Rally Spot Officer, not doing the Jiangliang, who needs the last specialties maxed out. Just use the Toyota guy. Alliance card and Glory Monthly. People overlook these. That's 15% buffs that you can get. And really that's 2,300% buffs right off the top. And let's say you're only 80% of the way to any of these things. That's still 1,600%, 1,700% buffs. And this is realistic, guys. This is easily attainable for a mid coiner. And go to low coiner. I'm just going to kind of prove the point a little bit here. Is like, hey, you're not even getting this historic sub. You're only having one big coiner in your alliance, and he definitely should be coining this sub. That's an extra 10% for all alliance members. It does make a difference. Dragon Refine. Let's drop that down to 50% instead of 60%. Same thing with the refines. We're not going to get perfect refines, so we're going to get close enough. The general gear has been is basically the same because this is free to play attainable. But if not, I believe you drop about 22% if you're just doing Akka and Ares. And then you also have the general skills also drops, I think 10%. And let's see here. Yep. Let's see. Nope. Because no skin on the general skills. And then we're going to drop the specialties even more. Let's say you cannot max them out or you want to focus on some other things. I believe that drops almost 30%. So let's just do that. Again, we can go through here and say, hey, low coiners don't ever have castles, no way to win All-Stars. You can get into finals with All-Stars as an f2p, but, that aside, let's say you can't do it. Archer or Camp Officer, I'm saying you're not going to get the gear, just the general. Again, the general is viable to get with a couple purchases. Shrine, 5-minute buff has been dropped to 50%. And again, we're not counting Nidhogg. We're not counting a lot of these things. These things are viable, and that's still 2,100%, guys. I'm trying to give a blueprint for how to attack your goals. This is a marathon. It's going to take a year. It's going to take 2 years. But this is a long game. Don't spend your resources. Don't spend your gems on the wrong things. You got to focus on getting your academy up, your military academy up. You got to focus on building up gold. Every single week, you got to be grinding your Vikings. That 1 billion gold per week, you may not use it in the beginning, but once you get your K40, once you get your military academy 5, all of that gold is going to come back to benefit you. So I just wanted to kind of provide this as a blueprint for every free to play and low coiner, mid coiner in Evony to say, hey, if your team is filled with this buff, you can be viable in PvP. You can be a great team. You can rally down, any of the big guys. They're perfectly rallyable with this. So this is basically me providing you the blueprint. So if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to me on the RSP Discord. I'll drop that link in the description, and you have a great day.